Hey everyone, welcome to Riddle Revolution. Today's quiz is on football stars. In this video, we will test your knowledge of some of the biggest names and most iconic moments in professional football. Do you know which player holds the record for the most international goals scored, or which team has won the most UEFA Champions League titles? We'll cover all that and more in this fun and challenging quiz. So grab a pen and paper and get ready to put your football fandom to the test. Let's see how well you know the greatest players, clubs, and stories defining the beautiful game. The quiz is about to begin. Are you ready? Let's start with the famous forehead. Let's see if you can guess this one. Which football star is known for his iconic forehead? Is it A, Cristiano Ronaldo, B, Zinedine Zidane, or C, David Beckham? Come on, you got this. Correct answer is Zinedine Zidane. Zinedine Zidane's distinctive bald head with a prominent forehead became a part of his iconic look and was often imitated by fans. From forehead, let's move on to penalties. Think you know about penalties? Say, let's find out. Which player holds the record for scoring the most penalties in the Premier League? Is it Wayne Rooney, Steven Gerrard, or Frank Lampard? Come on. You know this. Answer is Frank Lampard. Did you know? Frank Lampard scored a total of 49 penalties in the Premier League, the most by any player. Interesting, isn't it? Can you name this set-piece specialist? Let's find out. Which player is renowned for scoring stunning free kicks and considered one of the best free kick takers of all time? Is it A, Cristiano Ronaldo, B, David Beckham, or C, Lionel Messi? The correct answer is David Beckham. David Beckham's ability to score from free kicks was legendary, and he scored some of the most iconic free kick goals in football history. Moving ahead, can you identify this prolific scorer? Let's find out. Which player holds the record for scoring the most goals in a single Premier League season? Is it Cristiano Ronaldo, Mohamed Salah, or Andy Cole? The correct answer is Andy Cole. Did you know Andy Cole scored 34 goals for Newcastle United in the 1993-94 Premier League season? A record that still stands. Amazing, isn't it? Can you identify this Captain Fantastic and legendary leader? Let's go! Which player holds the record for being the longest-serving captain of the England national team? David Beckham, Steven Gerrard, or Bobby Moore? The correct answer is Bobby Moore. Bobby Moore captained England for a total of 90 games, the most by any player for the Three Lions. Mind-boggling? Let's see if you can catch this speed demon. Let's run. Which player is considered the fastest footballer of all time? Cristiano Ronaldo, Gareth Bale, or Arjen Robben? The correct answer is Gareth Bale. Did you know Gareth Bale was clocked at a top speed of 36.9 km per hour, making him the fastest footballer ever recorded? Now that's fast. Can you guess this hat-trick hero? Let's find out. Which player holds the record for scoring the most hat-tricks in the Premier League? Sergio Aguero, Thierry Henry, or Alan Shearer? The correct answer is Sergio Aguero. Did you know Sergio Aguero scored a total of 12 hat-tricks in the Premier League, the most by any player? Now, that's a record. Which player holds the record for being the oldest goalscorer in the Premier League? Ryan Giggs, Teddy Sheringham, or Gordon Strachan? The correct answer is Teddy Sheringham. Teddy Sheringham scored for West Ham United at the age of 40 years and 268 days, making him the oldest Premier League goal scorer. Let's move on to next question. Which player holds the record for most assists in a single Premier League season? Cesc Fabregas, Thierry Henry, or Frank Lampard? The correct answer is Cesc Fabregas. Cesc Fabregas provided a record 18 assists in the 2014-15 Premier League season while playing for Chelsea. Let's groove on to next question. Can you name this long-range marksman? Which player holds the record for scoring the longest goal in Premier League history? Xabi Alonso, Charlie Adam, or David Beckham? The correct answer is Charlie Adam. Charlie Adam's strike for Stoke City against Chelsea in 2014 was measured at 66.7 meters, the longest goal in Premier League history. Let's conquer the next question. Guess this shot stopper. Which goalkeeper holds the record for saving the most penalties in the Premier League? David Seaman, Peter Cech, or Shay Given? The correct answer is David Seaman. David Seaman saved a total of 14 penalties in the Premier League, the most by any goalkeeper. Let's nail down the next question. On the mark, can you name this Spanish sharpshooter? Which player is the top goal scorer in the history of the Spanish national team? Raúl, David Villa, or David Silva? The answer is David Villa. David Villa scored a whopping 59 goals for Spain, making him the highest goal scorer for the Spanish national team. Let's move on. Can you identify this durable player? Which outfield player holds the record for the most consecutive Premier League appearances? Frank Lampard, Gary Speed, or Brad Friedel? The answer is Brad Friedel. Brad Friedel made 310 consecutive Premier League appearances, the most by any outfield player. Let's crack the next one. Can you name this precocious talent? Which player holds the record for being the youngest goal scorer in the UEFA Champions League? Kylian Mbappe, Michael Owen, or Bojan Krkić? The answer is Bojan Krkić. Bojan Krkić scored for Barcelona against Schalke 04 in the Champions League at the age of 17 years and 22 days, making him the youngest goal scorer in the competition's history. From the youngest to the Clásico legend. Which player holds the record for scoring the most goals in the El Clásico matches between Barcelona and Real Madrid? Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, or Alfredo Di Stefano? The answer is Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi has scored 26 goals in El Clásico matches, the most by any player. Next, let's see if you can identify this penalty perfectionist. Which player holds the record for scoring the most penalties in the UEFA Champions League? Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Ruud van Nistelrooy? Ruud van Nistelrooy. Ruud van Nistelrooy scored 14 penalties in the Champions League, the most by any player. Now that is penalty perfection. Which player holds the record for scoring the most goals in the Manchester derby between Manchester United and Manchester City? Wayne Rooney, Ryan Giggs, Eric Cantona? Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney scored 11 goals in Manchester derbies, the most by any player in this fixture. Basiud. From local hero to clean sheet king. Which goalkeeper holds the record for the most clean sheets in the Premier League? Peter Cech, David Seaman, Peter Shilton? Peter Cech. Peter Cech kept 202 clean sheets in the Premier League, the most by any goalkeeper. Wow! Which player holds the record for scoring in the most consecutive Premier League seasons? Ryan Giggs, Frank Lampard, Gareth Barry? Answer: Gareth Barry. Gareth Barry scored in 17 consecutive Premier League seasons, the most by any player. Can you name this goal-scoring legend? Which player holds the record for scoring the most Premier League goals for a single club? Wayne Rooney, Thierry Henry, Alan Shearer? Alan Shearer. Alan Shearer scored 260 goals for Newcastle United, the most Premier League goals by any player for a single club. Unbelievable. Captain Marvel. Can you guess this inspirational leader? Which player holds the record for captaining their national team in the most World Cup matches? Diego Maradona, Lothar Matthaus, Rafael Marquez. Rafael Marquez. Rafael Marquez captained Mexico in 19 World Cup matches, the most by any player. Which player holds the record for scoring the fastest hat-trick on their Premier League debut? Sergio Aguero, Robbie Fowler, Sadio Mane. Robbie Fowler. Robbie Fowler scored a hat-trick in just 4 minutes and 33 seconds on his Premier League debut for Liverpool in 1994. Now that's an impressive debut. Own goal master. Can you identify this unfortunate player? Which player holds the record for scoring the most own goals in the Premier League? Jamie Carragher, Martin Skrtel, Phil Jagielka. Phil Jagielka. Phil Jagielka scored 7 own goals in the Premier League, the most by any player. Can you guess this impact player? Which player holds the record for scoring the most goals as a substitute in the Premier League? Javier Hernandez, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Olivier Giroud. 1. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer scored 17 goals as a substitute in the Premier League, the most by any player. Now this is called a super substitute. Which player holds the record for receiving the most red cards in Premier League history? Patrick Vieira, Duncan Ferguson, Richard Dunn. The correct answer is Richard Dunn. Richard Dunn was sent off a record 8 times in the Premier League during his career. Hold on, quiz enthusiasts. Before we uncover more football fandom, make sure you're subscribed. We're on a journey to explore the world of football and knowledge, and we want you along for the ride. Hit that subscribe button now, and let's continue the football mania. Let's go! Can you name this derby specialist? Let's find out. Which player holds the record for scoring the most goals in the Merseyside derby between Liverpool and Everton? Steven Gerrard, Robbie Fowler, Ian Rush. Come on! Ian Rush. Ian Rush scored 25 goals in Merseyside derbies, the most by any player in this fixture. Can you guess this free kick wizard? Let's find out. Which player holds the record for scoring the most direct free kicks in the Premier League? David Beckham, Thierry Henry, Juan Mata. David Beckham. David Beckham scored 18 direct free kick goals in the Premier League, the most by any player. From legend Beckham to teenage dream, can you name this prodigy? Which player holds the record for being the youngest goal scorer in Premier League history? Michael Owen, Wayne Rooney, James Milner. Michael Owen. Michael Owen scored for Liverpool against Wimbledon at the age of 17 years and 143 days, making him the youngest Premier League goal scorer. Can you guess this elite goal scorer? Let's find out. Which player holds the record for scoring 100 Premier League goals in the fewest number of appearances? Sergio Aguero, Harry Kane, Robbie Fowler. Robbie Fowler. Robbie Fowler scored his 100th Premier League goal in just 181 appearances, the fewest by any player. Can you identify this long-distance marksman? Let's find out. Which player holds the record for scoring the longest goal in the FIFA World Cup? Davor Suker, Maxi Rodriguez, Naohiro Takahara. Naohiro Takahara. Naohiro Takahara scored from 60.8 meters for Japan against Russia in the 2002 World Cup, the longest goal in World Cup history. Let's see if you can guess this hat-trick hero. Which player holds the record for scoring the most hat-tricks in UEFA Champions League history? Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Robert Lewandowski. Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo has scored 8 hat tricks in the Champions League, the most by any player. Now, that is some record. Can you identify this penalty expert? Which player holds the record for scoring the most penalties in the history of the FIFA World Cup? Miroslav Klose, Thomas Müller, R. Eusebio. Miroslav Klose. Miroslav Klose scored 16 penalties at the World Cup, the most by any player. Can you guess this defensive stalwart? Which goalkeeper holds the record for the most clean sheets in the UEFA Champions League? Iker Casillas, Manuel Neuer, Edwin van der Sar. Iker Casillas. Iker Casillas kept 59 clean sheets in the Champions League, the most by any goalkeeper. Can you guess this Captain Marvel? Which player holds the record for captaining their national team in the most international matches? Diego Maradona, Sergio Ramos, Ahmed Hassan. Ahmed Hassan. Ahmed Hassan captained Egypt in 170 international matches, the most by any player. Can you name this creative genius? Which player holds the record for most assists in the UEFA Champions League? Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Ryan Giggs, Ryan Giggs. Ryan Giggs provided 35 assists in the Champions League, the most by any player. Can you guess this evergreen player? Which player holds the record for being the oldest goal scorer in the FIFA World Cup? Roger Milla, Cuauhtémoc Blanco, Cristiano Ronaldo. Roger Milla. Roger Milla scored for Cameroon at the 1994 World Cup at the age of 42 years and 39 days, the oldest World Cup goal scorer. Can you name this prolific marksman? Which player holds the record for scoring the most goals in the history of the UEFA Champions League? Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Robert Lewandowski. Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo has scored a whopping 141 goals in the Champions League, the most by any player. Red card record. Can you identify this hot-headed player? Which player holds the record for receiving the most red cards in the history of the FIFA World Cup? Zinedine Zidane, Rivaldo, Rigobert Song. Rivaldo received 3 red cards in World Cup matches, the most by any player. Can you name this dream debut maker? Which player holds the record for scoring the fastest hat trick on their Premier League debut? Sergio Aguero, Robbie Fowler, Sadio Mane. Sadio Mane. Sadio Mane scored a hat trick in 2 minutes and 56 seconds on his Premier League debut for Southampton in 2014. Now, that is fast. Penalty perfectionist. Can you identify this spot kick specialist? Which player holds the record for scoring the most penalties in the UEFA Champions League? Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Ruud van Nistelrooy. Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo has scored 19 penalties in the Champions League, the most by any player. Mr. Consistent, can you identify this reliable performer? Which player holds the record for scoring in the most consecutive Premier League seasons? Paneer. Ryan Giggs, Frank Lampard, Gareth Barry. Ryan Giggs. Do you know? Ryan Giggs scored in 21 consecutive Premier League seasons, the most by any player. Goal machine. Can you identify this prolific scorer? Who holds the record for scoring the most goals in a single UEFA Champions League season? Is it Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, or Robert Lewandowski? The correct answer is Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo scored 17 goals in the 2013-14 Champions League season, the most by any player in a single campaign. Which player holds the record for scoring the most goals in the North London derby between Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur? Is it Thierry Henry, Emmanuel Adebayor, or Harry Kane? Emmanuel Adebayor. Emmanuel Adebayor scored 10 goals in North London derbies, the most by any player in this fixture. Which player holds the record for scoring the most direct free kicks in the history of the UEFA Champions League? Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Juninho Pernambucano. Juninho Pernambucano. Juninho Pernambucano scored 12 direct free kick goals in the Champions League, the most by any player. Which player holds the record for scoring the most goals in the UEFA European Championship? Cristiano Ronaldo, Michel Platini, Alan Shearer. Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo has scored 14 goals in the European Championship, the most by any player. Spot kick specialist. Can you identify this penalty expert? Let's find out. Which player holds the record for scoring the most penalties in the UEFA European Championship? Cristiano Ronaldo, Michel Platini, Frank Lampard. Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo has scored 5 penalties in the European Championship, the most by any player. Top Gun, can you identify this sharpshooter? Let's find out! Which player holds the record for scoring the most goals in a single season across all competitions? Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Robert Lewandowski. Lionel Messi. Lionel Messi scored an incredible 73 goals for Barcelona across all competitions in the 2011-12 season, the most by any player in a single season. Which outfield player holds the record for playing the most minutes in a single Premier League season? Frank Lampard, Gary Speed, or Gareth Barry? Gareth Barry. Gareth Barry played a total of 3,019 minutes in the 2011-12 Premier League season for Manchester City, the most by any outfield player in a single campaign. Goal-scoring keeper. Can you name this unconventional scorer? Which goalkeeper holds the record for scoring the most goals in their career? Peter Shilton, René Higuita, José Luis Chilavert. José Luis Chilavert. José Luis Chilavert scored a remarkable 67 goals during his career, the most by any goalkeeper in football history. Spot kick king. Can you guess this penalty expert? Which player holds the record for scoring the most penalties in the history of the Premier League? Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, Harry Kane. Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard scored 49 penalties in the Premier League, the most by any player.